Special call meeting of the Breckinridge County Board of Education. We do have several guests in the building, but I think that we will hear from all of them at some point today.
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart, that's right.
And mask.
And all the board members are here. Under routine consent actions, as approve the treasurer's orders and approve payment of bills.
So moved.
Joy makes a motion.
Second.
And Rick seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Under discussion and action items, the instruction and curriculum, here we're going to hear some principals' reports. Do you know who's starting first?
All right.
All right.
Mr. Kevin Coombs from Breckinridge County Middle School. Mr. Coombs, we're glad to have you.
Well, I'd like to first say thank you all for having us here. I always appreciate all the support that the board gives us each and every year. So I'll get right to it. Every year, we're asked to come and present to you all just about everything that's happening at BCMS and that has happened over the course of the last year. So we're just going to start right in with celebrations through every month. It's kind of what I did here. Now, I'm obviously not going to read everything that's up on the screen. You're very capable of doing that, and I can always share it with you at any time. So please, if you want this, I can share it with you, Dr.
They have a copy of it.
They have a copy. There you go. So you have that there in front of you. I did try to highlight something each month that I wanted to make sure that I kind of pointed out. And so this year, I wanted to point out that this was our year number 1 of being one-to-one with Chromebooks. So every 6th, 7th, and 8th grader in our building had a Chromebook this year. Feel like that was a huge success. Our 7th and 8th graders have the opportunity to pay a small fee to bring them home if they'd like to. And then our 6th graders, we did not open that up this year, but it may be something that we look at doing in the future. So that was just kind of the month of August. Lots of other things going on there as well. When you get into September, again, lots of things going on, but I think the biggest thing for us was that our 7th grade football team won the GRBC football championship and finished their season undefeated. So they had quite the season this year, and of course we'll see just what happens in the future for them as 8th graders. But that was a big time. The boys did a fantastic job. They, I don't know that any game was really, most of their games were not even close. That they won most of their games by quite a few points, and so that they were a really good team and really fun to watch this year. When we get into October, of course the biggest thing usually happens every October is that we have K-Prep scores being released. And for the middle school, that meant that we were number 1 in math when you compared us to every school every middle school in the 3rd region. And I even included usually some, probably, I guess it's 4th, is it Hardin County, are they 4th region, is that right?
5th.
5th region. So some of the Hardin County middle schools I throw in there too, being that they kind of border us. And now I also throw in Stewart Pepper, being that it's Meade County and it borders us. But overall, number 1 in math, when you look at all the middle school scores there, and proficiency, when you look at number 1 in proficiency, that's a combination of math and reading. So the language arts part of it. So pretty good there, pretty good showing for the middle school, I feel like. When you get into November, again, lots of things are going on in November. November is usually kind of a short month when you have Thanksgiving break and all that. But we did have our KYA scholars who were recognized as a premier delegation at the KYA, Kentucky Youth Assembly. That's a big deal every year. They present bills. It's a really neat process if you've never heard of it or never kind of asked some of our scholars about it. They really get to see how government works at the Capitol and things. So it's a really neat thing, and they present a bill, and they try to get their bills passed, and then they get voted on. And so we had quite a delegation go this year, and they were very impressive. In December, our 6th grade academic team placed 1st overall and 1st in quick recall at their showcase. They have something that's called a 6th grade showcase, and so they were able to place 1st there. When you get into January, our academic team placed 1st overall at the District Governor's Cup and 1st in quick recall. So the academic team has a future. Whenever I say the BCMS academic team on the January, that's usually just 7th and 8th graders. And then our 6th grade is something separate. So the future's looking bright for the academic teams there at the middle school. February, the academic team, we go ahead and focus on them again. They were 3rd overall in the region at the regional competition. Quick recall was 2nd. And we ended up having 10 scholars who ended up qualifying to attend the State Governor's Cup at the Galt House, which unfortunately did not occur. And so this is the part of the presentation where you get into celebrations. In March, we the unfortunate thing I don't know if it's unfortunate, but for our 8th grade volleyball team, they had played a tremendous season. They had been undefeated all season. They did not get to play in their tournament. And I think the last game, if I remember right, the last game of the year was canceled because we were getting ready to have 8th grade night and we didn't get to have that. But they were crowned GRVC champions, and they have a banner at the middle school, and we're gonna be hanging it up. And they went through an undefeated season. It was really great. And of course, when you get into April, May, we usually have lots of things here, but unfortunately, you know, we were at home, scholars were at home, leaders were at home, and everybody completed work there. So that's all the celebrations, you know, throughout the months of 2019, 2020. One of the big things I wanted to talk about, I think, is I don't know, for me, it's awesome, it's amazing in our building is what we call the TAB room, and TAB stands for Take a Break. And this is where our counselors have done an amazing job. Miss Casey Toy and Mrs. Carrie Critchlow have done an amazing job here with creating this room and creating some spaces for our scholars to come when they need a break. And this is a mental health break. And you know, we started noticing over the years that, you know, students would come and they'd talk to a counselor for an hour or whatever, and you know, they'd wait till the last minute and things like that. And so we wanted a place where scholars could ask to come and visit, and they could do so when they needed it. And so they anonymously, our students can access a Google form, and they can request some time in the TAB room. And they can request that time as being either they need it right now or just sometime during the day. And so our counselors they get those notifications, they'll go get the student, kind of discreetly or whatever, they'll call for the student, whatever it may be. And we've noticed that students, instead of taking hours of time with the counselors, they really just take that 5 or 10 minutes. They get a timer, they know what the rules are. Some of them utilize it once or twice a week, others less often. But it is a fantastic area where our students have an opportunity to just kind of let go for a few minutes, and you know, especially if something's really weighing heavy on them or whatever. They have some options whenever they go in that Google form. They can check if they want to talk to somebody, if they don't want to talk to somebody, kind of lots of those things. So our counselors, I really, kudos to the two of them for creating an area in our building where our scholars can go and do this. Just next steps, quickly through those. Instructional, we want to continue utilizing IXL to focus on student growth areas. We want to prepare our 8th graders to demonstrate competencies of our profile of a graduate. This year, hopefully our 8th graders will be prepared at the end of the year to do a defensive learning, which I guess I'll be back at the board meeting on July 8th to talk about that a little bit. And again, we're in our 2nd year. We're going to be going into our 2nd year of 1-to-1, so we want to make sure that we focus on strategies to utilize those Chromebooks effectively. It's not about necessarily having the kid online all the time or just putting a document on the Chromebook so that they can use it. It's about really using the best aspects of what they have to offer and utilizing lots of strategies to make those Chromebooks useful. 21st century learners, we want to focus on those 4 C's: communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Again, we want to make sure that profile of graduate is something that's focused on every month, mentioning the different competencies during morning announcements. And we want to, again, continue to find that balance of using technology, because there is a balance there with the 21st century learner. We have the technology, it's available to you, but we want to make sure that we're using it as a proper tool. Climate and culture, we want our counselors, to make sure that they work on small group and individual sessions. Our school-wide theme for this coming year is the power of choice. So we're going to be talking a lot about choices that our scholars make on a daily basis, and so I think that's going to be really good this year. Continue to improve our social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. I think I have a few people that follow regularly, and that's good, and so hopefully we can continue that. Continue our mentor program and continue training leaders on mental health and trauma-informed care. And when we look at professional development coming up for all of our teachers this year, we continue with our PLCs for teacher partners, where they work on assessments, team building, differentiation, 21st century learning, and problem-based learning, that's PBL, co-teaching strategies, and we're going to continue, we're going to have our trauma-informed. We sent a teacher from each grade level, a special ed teacher and a related arts teacher, along with our counselor and our assistant principal, to some trauma-informed trainings this past year. They went to 5 different ones, and so we want to continue sharing that information with all of our leaders in our building. So I think that if I'm not mistaken, that's it.
Are we still gonna be remarkable at the middle school?
We're always remarkable every day. That's the norm, kind of like a champion at the high school.
Okay, yeah.
At the middle
I didn't know
school.
if we had new words this year.
No new word.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have a theme that just we're the power of choice, and we kind of look at some of that stuff, and that may be what the door decorations and things like that are on choices. But every day it's going to end with be remarkable. So we're going to continue that as well.
Like it. Me too.
All right.
Mr. Coombs, I want to thank you and really compliment you and your team. I just believe that our middle school is fantastic. I speak from a personal experience because I have a daughter who attends there and absolutely loves it, and I know how well that you and your team take care of the students there, and we truly are blessed to have a terrific middle school in our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Miss Emma Martin will be up next. Last time to talk about the ATC.
Yes, but I'm very excited to take the opportunity to brag on our students and staff, and like Mr. Coombs said, even though it was kind of an odd year, it was still a very productive one, and we have a lot to celebrate. Oh, there we go. So I always like to revisit our vision and mission. So with high expectations and strong partnerships, Kentucky Tech will actively engage all students in the mastery of academic and technical skills needed to be ready for college and a career. That's our main focus, is that CCR, making sure that whenever they leave our building, they are ready to go out, be productive citizens, find careers that they can be successful in. Our focus at the ATC this year, and every year, is to learn the specific skills needed for industry and business positions. They're able to obtain real-world job experience while they're students at the ATC. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, our work-based learning opportunities. That goes hand in hand with the making money while attending the school, opportunity for apprenticeship programs as we partner with local business and industries, and then the best thing, usually that the parents love to hear, is the zero college debt. The first thing, our outstanding seniors. Unfortunately, at the end of the school year, we didn't get to recognize our seniors as we traditionally do. We were able to hold a virtual award ceremony in partnership with the high school. So every year, each program recognizes one outstanding senior. That outstanding senior is selected based on their participation throughout the program during their high school career. If they were able to participate in work-based learning, earning industry certifications, dual credit, and just overall their performance in the program. So I do want to take the time to just go through and make sure we recognize these students from each program. For automotive technology, Jalen Pyle. Business education, Riley Whitfield. Computerized manufacturing and machining was Craig Lucas. Health science, Madison Thompson. Information technology was Logan Johnson. And our welding technology was Noah Anthony. So our individual pathway data, I believe last summer I had the opportunity to brag on our industry certifications for each program. I'm going to do the same thing tonight, but it's a little bit different. Due to the COVID-19, we weren't able to test all of our students like we typically would. The great thing, though, is that the ATC instructors, they're working very closely with OC Test, to where if a student was unable to take their welding certification or complete their SNRA, then they're able to do that this summer. So that's really great for the kids, because a lot of our students that graduate from the ATC, that certification, that certificate is what they need to get their job right out of school. But we did have some students that were kind of working ahead of the game. So we had 8 out of 16 seniors that were industry certified, and then 5 inactive seniors were also certified. And whenever we refer to inactive at the ATC, that means that maybe they took a class with us their sophomore and junior year, or even just their junior year, but then didn't come back their senior year. We still give them the opportunity to test and become certified. In automotive technology, we had 3 out of 4 seniors industry certified, as well as 3 inactive seniors. Our CNC operator, we had 12 out of 16 seniors industry certified. And for our machinist operator, we had 14 out of 15. And if you know anything about Breckinridge County, that's huge because that's one of our main areas of industry. Information support and services, we had 4 out of 4 seniors were industry certified. Manufacturing track, we had 6 seniors completed the track program at Whitworth Tool. So what that means is they logged so many hours at Whitworth Tool their junior and senior year, or possibly just their senior year. And through that pre-apprenticeship program, those hours will then transfer into the state apprenticeship program. So it's not like they're having to start at 0 whenever they graduate. The web development and administrative pathway, 9 out of 11 seniors. Our pharmacy and our pre-nursing, they're actually testing. Some of them tested yesterday, and then some of them are testing later this week. So I'm very excited to get those results. The Charters seniors, they always typically do very well. So our welder entry level, we had 4 out of 6 seniors become industry certified, 2 inactive seniors, and then we also had 6 junior students that already earned their certification, that'll be seniors next year. And then we had 1 sophomore who got certified, and it was his first year in the program, so we're very proud.
Wow.
Work-based learning data, I really wanted to make sure I mentioned this evening. It is something that we've been really passionate about on the high school level. We had 13 students that participated in a paid co-op position. So that means, they'd maybe go to the high school first and second period, then after second period, they would go to work for the rest of the day. 13 is huge. That's a great number. Most of those were in the manufacturing trade. Internships, we had 3 students, 2 IT and a health science were involved in an internship. The biggest difference between the internship and the paid co-op is the internship, typically 2 of those students, it was just 3 days a week, and then the other health science student, she would rotate. So she was able to spend some time at St. Camillus, she was able to spend some time at a pharmacy, at the hospital, so it was a great experience. And then lastly, we had our clinical rotations in our health science program, and we had 25 students that were out and about 3 days a week, either at the hospital, the nursing home, or the 3 pharmacies working and learning. So our work-based learning experience this past year was just phenomenal for the students. What I wanted to make sure when I wrapped up this evening is to thank the businesses in Breckinridge County for their partnership with the ATC, because if it wasn't for the ones listed on here, TG&H, Campbell's, Sabright, the hospital, Whitworth Tool, we even had students interning at the Board of Education, the work-based learning opportunities wouldn't be possible. So it really is important to recognize our business and industry partners for supporting the work that we do. Thank you.
Ms. Martin, I just want to thank you and your team. We are so blessed to have the Breckinridge County Area Technology Center in our community. It has been just a staple of this community for many years. It's well respected around the entire state. I also want to commend your team because for the last year they've been working around a renovation project, and I know that hasn't been easy, but they've done fabulous. And I also want to commend you because I know that this summer you've been kind of pulling double duty. You've been transitioning into the new role of principal at Hardinsburg Elementary starting tomorrow, while taking good care of the Breckinridge County Area Technology Center. And so I thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right, next up, Adam Cox, the high school.
Thank you all for this opportunity, and I would like to thank Mr. Coombs and Ms. Martin too. Mr. Coombs sends great kids to us every year, prepared for high school, and I always appreciate that. He has them prepared, and I always also really enjoyed working with Ms. Martin. She's done a tremendous job at ATC. We've developed a really nice partnership. She's going to be really missed a lot, but she's going to be a tremendous asset for Hardinsburg Elementary. So, kind of start off every year, school culture. We have we start every year kind of thinking about how we want to the year to go, and something we always played along is how we start every morning. And we start every morning with everyone work really hard, have a great day, and be a champion. It's been said for over 30 years, I guess. And so when the last 3 years, we've kind of even taken that and wanted to rejuvenate the word champion that we used in 2018-19. Last school, we tried to really focus on putting the word champion into action. And so our focus for the year coming up is going to be making being a champion the expectation. I always like starting off every year with a little class meeting. This year we had our class meeting, and this one's become even more of a moment for all of us. This picture I've probably looked at 1,000 times over the last 3 months, but this is our opening day class meeting. We made 3 goals that day, and one was that everyone was going to graduate, and we succeeded in that. And one was going to perform every day like champions. I can't think of a better group to perform like champions every day than that group right there. And then our final one was to make memories. And boy, I think we did. So I think this is going to be a year that we'll all remember. But that was a class meeting, and those were 3 goals that came up to be pretty neat. Those were the goals we came up with on August, or the very beginning of August, and that's kind of neat how the year turned out, and how we capitalized on all 3 of those. But just looking back on the year, we had a tremendous year at the high school. Just some of the actions we had. Volleyball was a runner-up 3rd region championship game, and was just a few plays away from going back-to-back regional champions. They won the Apollo Summer Slam last year, which was one of the biggest volleyball tournaments in the Western Kentucky. They won that. Tremendous group. They provided a lot of joy for us at school the last couple of years. The football team won 6 games, which is the most since 2000. They also beat Hancock County, which is a very important part of that slideshow right there. Lady Tiger dance team, they qualified for K State competition. They placed 3rd in their prop competition, which is a great finishing for them. Our archery team finished 4th in the regional competition. And our Lady Tiger basketball team finished 21-11. They were district runner-up, and they were the 3rd region semifinalist. And our boys basketball team finished 21-10 and were 3rd region, or 11th district champions. Individual champion actions that happened throughout the year. These are just some of the ones that highlight just major accomplishments during this year. Today, Leslie received the Richard Bedwell Memorial Scholarship at the regional KPOS competition. It's presented to the highest honor, the 3rd region KPOS. Jazz Page, David Brown, Ryan Macy, Bailey Harper, and Noah Roberts all were accepted into the American Choral Directors Association Divisional Honors Choir, and that's out of 8 states in southern, southeastern United States. And for us to even have one make it to qualifying rounds is a significant honor. And we had those students right there make the actual qualifying. So it's an amazing feat. I really didn't realize how big it was until Mr. Dudgeon kind of explains it to me. He says, "You don't really realize how big this is. This is a big deal." So, I believe you, sir. Freshman Kane Lucas was named the Bluegrass Speaker of the House. It's the highest possible position at the KYA. And Kane's a phenomenal young man. I know we've had him speak here quite a few times before. He's just a phenomenal young man. That's a tremendous honor for him. Kavion Mitchell was named the Owensboro Messenger Player of the Year, the KABC Player of the Year, and was the finalist for Mr. Kentucky basketball. And that is a back-to-back Owensboro Messenger Player of the Year, which does not happen. We hardly ever get a student to be named Owensboro Player. We had back-to-back with Kobe Poole and Kavion last year. Coach Critchlow was named KABC Coach of the Year. That was back-to-back for him. John Douglas Thornhill, Megan Howell, placed the written assessment portion of the Regional Governors Cup, qualified for the state competition. Mr. Coombs kind of alluded to earlier. Eventually did not end up happening for those individuals. Today, Leslie received the prestigious Cherry Presidential Scholarship at WKU, which is the highest scholarship at Western Kentucky University. Olivia Biggs and Morgan Lucas and Taylor Smith all qualified for the state DECA competition and all placed 1st in their respective categories. So it's amazing for them. And their national competition is supposed to be a national this summer, and it's been called off as well. So that's kind of a neat opportunity for them that they're not going to get to participate in. Reese DeHaven was named to the 2020 Governor's Scholar for Arts program. And Sidney Jolly, Ryan Patel, Cameron Shaw, and Justin Winarski all were selected to the 2020 Kentucky Governor's Scholar program. And Hunter Frymeyer received the 4-H Gold Achievement Award, which is one of the highest honors in the 4-H in the state of Kentucky. So that's pretty neat for those individuals there. As a school, something I mentioned earlier, we graduated all 148 of our students. A couple of them did cause a couple of gray hairs and a couple late nights toward the end there, but we did get all 148 of them graduated, which is a tremendous accomplishment at the high school. Our independent school graduated 41 students this year, which is just outstanding. The job that Larry Scharcher does at the independent school and the work that our central office, our board provides for that group of young men and young women is outstanding. But he does an amazing job with that group, and that is a tremendous accomplishment right there to have 41 students graduate from our independent school. Our class of 2021, which is going to be this year's seniors, but they were last year's juniors, and took the ACT test. They scored an 18.8, which is very respectful on our ACT as a class. And out of that, they only had 3 students score 30. That's typically around 5 or 6. But I did want to highlight, we had 14 that scored 28 or higher. So we just had 11 students right there, 29, that really could have got a couple more points there and pushed us over. Our 2019 scores came in for on K-Prep, and we were awarded 3 out of 5, which was pretty average in the 3rd region there. We were one of the high, most of us got 3 out of 5. I think Ohio County was the only one that had a 4 in our region. But out of that, there's 5 areas that you're graded on, and one of those areas was our transition accountability, or transition part of the accountability, and we placed 2nd in Western Kentucky. South Warren was the only school that beat us in our transition part, and then there was another component to that is our essentially our science and our math for our 10th graders, and we finished 3rd behind Davis County and E-Town out of the whole Western Kentucky. So really nice stuff coming up in a few years for us. We finished 2019 with over 1,500 dual credit hours, which is just an amazing feat. And we've got some really neat stuff going on at the high school with our own college lab. Students can actually go in there and sit down and take college level classes throughout the day. We had 20 students that co-op from our high school, and that's separate of what goes from the wonderful work that Miss Martin does at ATC. This is a very high number for us. We did a really nice job of trying to expand on our co-op. That has gone from about 5 to 7 students to about 10 to last year we had 20. Those are all not paid. We only had probably a handful that were in a paid co-op. A lot of our students were utilized at our veterinarian offices here in town. We had some students work here at the Board of Education or at the middle school in our tech department. We had some students work in our local elementary schools, Irvington Gas, and then and I'm going right implement. Those are the ones that really help us out. Our ag department really helps out with that. But one of the big steps that we made going from this year to next year is the addition of the pathways that we've been able to put in our school. Aviation is one that's going to be taken off. We've got 20 students that signed up for aviation for the upcoming school year. We've made a partnership with a group out of Denver, Colorado that's going to actually bring 2 simulators into our school system. Those were supposed to come in March, so with everything that was going on, we've kind of been waiting on that. But 2 nice size simulators will be coming in for our students to be able to utilize. Same ones the Air Force use, so that's going to be a really nice asset for our students here.
My son's in that program.
Oh, awesome, cool. Well, it's going to be, Paul Rotrammel has taken over this, and he is beyond excited about what he's going to do for these students, so it's going to be really neat. We're also started an engineering program in our school, along with a computer science program, and those are going to be outstanding. Really look forward to that. We've got 11 students signed up for engineering right now, and about 21 signed up for computer science. Agribusiness is a new area that we added with the agricultural classes, or this area taking off in business. That's something we desperately needed, and it's going to really look forward to what we can provide our students with agribusiness. Also, early childhood development is going to be added as a pathway, and that'll help with students that maybe want to pursue a career in like childcare or preschool, that form. And then also Ag Power is another one that we've looked at. That we had the classes to do it, we just never had the pathway. So now we're putting in that pathway. It's going to be a nice asset for our kids that maybe want to go to like a 2-year college to get Ag Power with machining and that stuff. I wouldn't be able to go throughout this without kind of just mentioning a little bit about the last 2 months of our school year and COVID-19 and what you wanted to do when it first started happening after the disbelief and the anger and all that went through. It really became apparent just how awesome this community is, and it starts even right here in this room right here. Our board, our central office, our students, our parents, our staff, our whole community just took. I'm only really going to speak from the high school. I know they did this for our elementary school and middle school as well, but they just took our high school under their wing, and we just rolled with it with this class of 2020. Just a couple little things that we did for them, for our students and our staff. Really, we did our student yard signs, and we drove around all 48 of our teachers drove around to every single student and placed a yard sign in their yard and social distance. And we did say hi to each student, got to see all 148 of our students. Then Mr. McElfresh and Mr. Bennett and I drove around and visited all 48 of our teachers, which was a lot larger, which was a lot more difficult than what we thought when we first mapped it out. But that was an all-day event. We left at 5 in the morning and got back around 11 o'clock at night. Our last person we visited was at 10:30. So, but we went and saw every single teacher and put a yard sign in their yard. And then graduation was just an amazing day. And I know most of you all were a part of that and got to see some of that, but it was just an amazing day. And Dr. Carter was there with us and stood on that stage from 8 o'clock to 9 something, but we were there all night long.
I think we were holding each other up.
We were holding each other up, so, yes, sir. But it was an outstanding day, and we were very nervous about that and how that would be received in our community. And I really think it went over really well. I heard nothing but positive reports on that and how people felt about that. And then the next week we showed our graduation virtually, and that went amazing. So can't go without thanking Dustin Harris and Rob Garrett for the work they did to put that together. It was an outstanding job they did on putting that virtual graduation together for us. And then the school year, we really look forward to our baseball and softball seasons. Baseball had a tremendous run in the 2019 season, and we're sure to have such an outstanding run for the 2020 year. So it's really sad that we had to not go through a season for them. And our softball team, which has been making improvements every year and had a really nice veteran team coming back this year. So we're really sad about that. We put an awesome night together for them on a senior night that turned out, again, you're nervous about it. You don't know what kind of showing you're going to have. And we were expecting maybe 7 or 10 cars, and we had cars going through it for 45 minutes. So it was a beautiful night for them. Kind of capped everything off with a beautiful senior parade that I would have been surprised if 20 seniors showed up and wanted to partake in, and I'm not sure if any of them missed. And it was a beautiful parade and a beautiful night that night. But that kind of spoke really highly about that class. I mentioned earlier about the three memories or the 3 commitments we made that day. About everyone graduated, and we did. And we were going to act like champions, and I think we did during COVID-19. And we were going to make memories, and boy, we made some memories with this group to end that year. As a school moving forward, we're going to focus more on instruction coming up for the next coming years. The instruction is going to hopefully look a lot different, and we're going to be forced to maybe make it look a little bit different. But we need to probably adjust how we instruct anyway. So this is going to make us really kind of dive in and look at how we instruct our students. We're going to continue working on building more memories. We're going to start some more traditions like lighting of a tree during the Christmas time, dodgeball. We're also looking at implementing an intramural league, which will get some of our kids more involved in some things like flag football and ultimate frisbee. Principal council is going to take over our school just a little bit more. I'm going to kind of make them more in charge of our classes and control class meetings and help get more class input on decisions in our school. We're going to reduce our student class failures. We're going to revamp correspondence program. We're going to keep improving our PLCs, and we'll provide teachers the opportunity to learn each other through a teacher mentor program. And I'll kind of conclude on just, again, a school culture there, where we're going to just kind of make being a champion next education 2020-21. And I'd like to thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Cox, thank you, and thank your team. The team at the high school did a magnificent job the entire year, and especially during the COVID-19 school closure. The focus on the kids and the focus on making memories, it was definitely it was needed, and it was definitely a great thing. So thank you so much for what you all do at the high school. We appreciate you, and we'll be supporting you every step of the way as we return to school in August.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to operations. Under item 1 is approve the change order for the ATC project.
Okay, this change order has to do with some additional electric that had to be done based on the equipment they put in the machining area. And it also is adding some electronic access to one of the doors for the new hallway that for the new and the old area, between the new and the old area. Recommend approval.
Go for it. No, he can do it.
Make the motion.
Mark makes a motion,
Second.
Vanessa seconds. Sorry, she beat you to it, Rick.
That's okay.
Any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Item 2 is approve the donation agreement for the school district baseball field with Right Implement.
So we wanted to get this in front of you. just because we appreciate the support from, continued support from Right Implement. And they've been a valued community partner for us, for the high school and the district as a whole for years. And they've agreed to donate $250,000 toward the athletic field to put turf on the baseball field. I recommend approval for this donation.
So moved.
That was an easy one.
I think
Okay.
there were 5 motions for
Right. Got it.
Joy makes a motion and Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion?
That's the one they.
All those in favor, take that
Thank you.
and run. We'd like to have about 20 more.
We'll work on that.
Item 3 is approve the orientation and mobility services contract for the school district.
This is a service that we contract every year. Nothing's changed from previous years. I recommend approval.
So moved.
Joy makes the motion
Second.
and Rick seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Item 4 is approve the recovery of indirect costs from the food service program for the fiscal year 2021.
We charge this every year. It's just to recoup costs for operating the program.
Mark me.
Vanessa makes a motion.
No, Mark you.
Mark makes a motion.
Vanessa
Vanessa gets a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Carry that one. Item 5, approve the bond depository for the 2021 school year.
It's just a requirement that we do this annually. They pledge securities that cover our deposits at the bank.
Move to approve.
Rick makes the motion. Mark seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Like to spend our money. Item 6 is approve the IXL learning agreement for the school district.
This is an online learning supplement program that many of our schools are already using. Many of them have been purchasing it separately out of their budget. Some have 2 subjects, some have 4. So what we're doing as a district is we've negotiated a group rate, which will help it be cheaper by doing it as a group rate. And all the schools will have access to 4 subjects instead of some only having 2. We've worked out a really good deal with the company where I believe we're going to pay for the first 3 years and get the 4th year for free. It's a really good program. It's going to help save our schools off of their individual school budgets.
I'd like to thank Ms. Gedling. She worked out most of this deal. I came in on the end and tacked my name on it, but Ms. Gedling did all the heavy lifting, and we are going to be able to pay for this with our CARES Act money. We're not going to charge the school.
Which our elementary schools are looking at using this program a lot to help with our elementary children who are not able to return due to COVID-19.
Right.
So it'll be a good supplement for those children.
That's awesome. Mark makes that motion
Second.
and Rick seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Item 7, approve the second reading of the criminal history record information procedures.
This will put us in compliance with the KSP fingerprint audit.
Joy makes that motion and Mark is seconding, correct?
Correct.
Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Item 8 is approve the second reading of the annual policy and procedure update.
There's been no changes since the first approval.
Good reading.
Move to approve.
Rick makes the motion.
I'll second.
Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Item 9 is approve the revised 2021 salary schedules.
This is in anticipation of the state approving our petition for local control of the Breckinridge County Area Technology Center. If that is approved, then we will need to hire a principal, and so that adds the HTC principal to our salary schedule. And it also adds a digital learning coach program in the district where we would have a digital learning coach in each of our buildings and provide them a small stipend for their services.
When do we expect to hear back from the state?
Well, everything has been submitted to the state and we're waiting. If we know that the earliest that we will be able to take local control would be July 15th, but we're hoping that we'll receive some type of an approval in writing as soon as possible. And as soon as we do, then we'll be posting the principal position and a business teaching position at the school.
So moved.
Joy makes that motion. Mark seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn. I'll second.
Rick makes that motion, Mark second, and we are all in favor. And should I state where